goes. Here it goes live.
Cool.
All right, let's peace. Let's do it. Peace, 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 y'all.
Peace.
Peace. We are live. We are just waiting until a couple people get here.
Sitting on the dock of the
Bay.
bay.
You go fishing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I go every weekend if I can. The only weekend I didn't go was this past weekend, but I did go the weekend before. I've been fishing my ass off.
For real?
I did
Where
some
where you go?
overnights. I went out to so normally I go to Madison because
Mhm.
they got the two big lakes, Mendota and Minota. So they
Okay.
right next to each other. So you have many different spots in Madison that you can fish at. So like let's say if I go to one spot and I'm not catching, I can
Mhm.
drive 5 minutes and go to the other lake. So normally I go to Madison, but when I go to Madison, although there are catfish in Madison, in both of the lakes, I've never
Mhm.
caught any in Madison. So
Mhm.
I'm like, I really want to catch some catfish this season. So I ended up going out to Beaver Dam.
Okay.
And then from Beaver Dam, which I caught some really decent sized channel cats, like this big. But
Why are they called channel cats? I never heard of that.
so there's well, technically four types of catfish.
Okay.
There's the channel cat, the flathead, and it's all based on the body style of the
Okay.
fish. So it's the channel cat, the
Oh.
flathead, the bullhead, and then there's another one I can't think of the name of it, but most often I usually catch either the channel cat or the bullheads. And so anyway, I went to Beaver Dam and I caught some really nice sized channel cats. And you know, definitely good for filleting. But I
Really?
wanted, oh yeah, oh yeah. So I wanted a bigger catch. I
Okay.
wanted one, and for those that follow me on Facebook, you probably have seen that sometimes when I catch, I'll catch a catfish as long as my leg.
Really? Them the big ones.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Cause I be seeing
Catfish
catfish
Kurt?
getting them
Yeah.
big ones.
Yes.
What? Y'all
Yeah,
be
let me pull
doing
up
it.
a picture. I'm gonna show you of one that I caught that's as long as my leg. But
Damn.
um, so I wanted that catch because they give up a really good fight and it gets your adrenaline
Now
pumping.
you really gotta be.
Yeah, you really got to fight with them fish. And I knew the only place I would be able to catch that type of fish that I have before in the past is in Oshkosh. So I left Beaver Dam to go to Oshkosh and I stayed in Oshkosh overnight. But yeah, I had a really good time
Oh, I bet.
because I did catch me a monster. I just did not take any pictures, which sucks.
The excitement of it though is what you need.
Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't mind jumping on that, doing that.
So here's just this one is about the size of my knee down to my foot.
Okay. Damn, that's big.
That one's big. It
You eat
was
that?
it was pretty decent size. Look, y'all.
Look at that catfish she done caught, y'all.
All right, but
Peace, peace,
the
peace.
one that
Peace,
I
Mr. Higgins. There you go. Mr.
hey
Higgins.
Higgins.
You call him something else. I
I
call
know.
him Higgins. Yeah, I mean.
You know why.
Uh-oh. You know why, Mr. Higgins? Don't, hey, listen, bro.
But this is one that's as big as my leg.
Damn. Y'all
And,
cut that up and eat it.
and yes. And this I've only caught him this size
Y'all gotta look at
in
that.
in Oshkosh.
That's
I'm
heavy,
sure
y'all.
they're that size in
Peace,
other
peace,
places and
everybody.
especially in Madison, but I've never caught them in Madison that size.
Really?
Yeah. So I really wanted to get a good fight, and
Yeah.
that's why I went out to Oshkosh. And of course, I got what I asked for. I caught one similar to that size, but I just didn't take any pictures.
I'm gonna have to start doing it. I'm gonna have to start doing it. You know
You
what I'm saying?
do.
Just for the because I don't do it. I haven't gone fishing since I was like 8.
Oh man, you had to come along.
Yeah, it's only been a couple of
Please
years,
do.
y'all. It's only been 2, 3 years, but we're gonna get there. The dream, what's going on? The
The
dream.
dream. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, the
The
dream.
dream experience.
She is here. Mr. Higgins is here. Anybody else is here? We're gonna start up in 1 second. We're gonna play the video first, and then we're gonna start. But we just chopping it up. She gonna teach me how to fish
again because he went before, but I'm gonna show him my favorite spots to go. And
I would love that. I'm talking
yeah.
about get out there and throw that thing and just be able to chill and fight.
Yes.
Gotta give me a couple fishing poles though.
Yeah. Well, I got plenty.
For real?
Yeah.
I
Just
thought
get
you
your
gotta
license.
have your own.
It's better to have your own because
Then you become
so
a
I have
right?
multiple fishing poles, and each pole serves its own purpose.
That's what I thought.
Each pole serves its own purpose, but usually when I loan my poles out, I never get them back the way that I loaned it out. Like you might make a whole mess of the line, and now it's tangled everywhere, and now I'm mad.
Oh yeah, no. I know it's
so it is better to have your own pole because then you got to worry about my attitude. But at the same time,
yeah,
in case you don't get around to it and you say, "Hey, I want to go this weekend and I didn't get a pole yet," just come on.
Okay, bad, definitely. I'm gonna do that. Peace. Anybody else who just came in, peace. Mr. Simmons.
Bobby
peace.
Simmons.
Peace. We talking about this fishing thing. She be fishing. She got some fish.
I fish.
She got fish
I
that big.
fish.
Yeah.
If I don't do nothing else, as soon as the weather breaks up here, I'm fishing.
You know what I seen one time?
April,
and
May, I'm out there fishing.
We're about to start, but we just going over some things while a couple people come in. And the invite is in the chat, y'all. So in case anybody want to come on in and jump on, I'm putting it again so y'all can come on and get down with us, okay? You know what? Riding the train up to Minnesota in the winter in January, it was 100 people out there on the ice fishing.
I can't ice fish. I've tried it. I don't like it.
You did that?
I have, but I don't like it.
That was the white side.
Listen, just a little bit. It'd be a lot of white folks out there, yeah.
Listen,
I just wanted to have the experience. We all got to go sometimes.
Right?
So,
No
I mean,
doubt.
I don't want to leave this earth with anything unchecked off of my bucket list. So,
hey, that's cool.
I did go ice fishing. I love fishing, so it was just like, okay, let's see if you really love fishing.
No, that's cold.
Ice fishing was too cold for me.
Yeah, I bet.
In addition to the cold, like it's ice, so walking on it is treacherous. Like you're slipping and you sliding. You got to take baby steps. You have to walk really slow, hoping you don't. And so here's the thing: like if you go to a fishing, in the winter, if you go to a lake that's popularly fished for ice fishing, a lot of times the holes that they've already dug aren't iced over. So you can possibly step in it.
And the holes be like this.
Yeah.
You gotta watch yourself. You gotta watch it. I see them out there.
So there's really not a way to watch yourself, especially like if a fresh brush of snow just came down. Now you really are just like, I'll walk and like brush over with my foot.
Yeah, no, not me. See, y'all tough. Y'all tougher than me. That one gonna stay on the bucket list.
Yeah,
it's gonna stay there.
Don't even just take it off the bucket list. It ain't working.
It's gonna be at the bottom, but it's always there, just in case. Hey, just in case things get like, damn, I want to do something.
Just take it off the bucket list.
Yeah, they be driving trucks out there, Mr. Higgins.
Yeah, they do. Pickup trucks,
big ones.
Big, yeah.
The box trucks.
Yeah, they do. I've seen the box trucks out there before.
I seen that. I said, man, these guys great. But I'm guessing the ice got to be this thick.
Oh yeah, I think it's got to be at least 6 feet.
6 inches, 12 inches.
I think it's like 12 inches thick.
It got to be huge.
It's got to be 12 inches
because they hold up trucks, and I mean, not one.
Yeah, like you'll look out there and you'll see multiple trucks and multiple people and multiple huts.
Yeah, they
call them ice shanties.
How you gonna have fire on ice and think it's safe?
Yeah, they do. They'll have inside their shanty. They'll have a little like stove going to keep them warm. It's crazy. Right. But I love fishing. Just I'm not an ice fisherman.
Right. Hey, that's peace. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and share that screen real quick.
Yeah, let's talk about the topic today. But first, we're going to play the video that inspired the topic today. So let's kick it off with the video and then hopefully some great discussions.
Yeah, they definitely making fires, Mr. Higgins.
Right.
Let's go with this. All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go for it, y'all.
I do not want to take care of my mama. A lot of us young entrepreneurs that grew up in poverty, didn't come from shit, have this idea that when we get on, we taking care of everybody. Mama, daddy, granny, brothers, whole family, right? The problem is most of our families were actually poor due to shit that was actually in their control. Poor money management, lack of discipline, inability to create healthy boundaries, no valuable skill set, or just other bad decisions that they never spoke about. So even though it's honorable, it's noble to want to take care of our people, it's just a bullshit band-aid solution that's going to make your people dependent on you. You really want to be the big dog amongst your people? Give them the tools that you use to produce results. Give them the game, give them the knowledge, give them the mindset to create for themselves. That way, when it's time to eat, it's a potluck, not just motherfuckers eating off your plate. You feel me?
You see what I'm saying? So now these black men out here talking about they don't even want to take care of their mothers. That was the whole big thing. Everybody wanted to take care of mama. Everybody wanted to buy mama a house. And now the new thing is not taking care of your mother. So the hate for women is spreading from the ground up. First, they started talking about you. Now they're talking about their mamas. Next, they're going to be talking about their daughters. It's just this round and round hatred. He's talking about give them the tools. Son, your mother's old now. What are you talking about? Give her the tools so your mother's going to be out there, what, hustling? Talking about bad decisions. One of those bad decisions may have been giving birth to you. That may have been a bad decision right there. That may have been one of her bad decisions. I don't understand this and I don't get it. And I don't understand where they're coming from with this. So now they're like, oh, we ain't taking care of mama. So you're going to just be living this ritzy life and being like, well, I tried to put her on, but mama says she ain't want to learn how to do cryptocurrency trading. I realized in helping to raise a baby that there's no child who makes it through adulthood without somebody caring about that child and intensely looking after that child and protecting that child. No child makes it, not one. He didn't get to adulthood on his own. He didn't get out of infancy without somebody being there to care for him. But then when all is said and done, now look at him. Now he's like, he don't want to take care of his mama because she made bad decisions.
Get on. We taking care of everybody. Mama, daddy, granny, brother.
Yeah, okay. Now, I could understand why you don't want to take care of friends and people who wasn't there, but your mother, if your mother was there, you mean to tell me that you some big time entrepreneur and you can't get your mother a house, even if it's a small house, that you can't make sure that your mother doesn't have to be worried about rent? Blaming the one who was in the fight with you. Now this is the new kick. Watch, this trend is taking off and I'm disgusted and horrified.
Be a part of the live show with
All right.
Let's talk about it.
All right, y'all. What we gonna say? I don't know if anybody gonna be watching, but what we gonna say, y'all? What we
He
gonna
said
say?
a mouthful. She said a mouthful.
Yeah. You know what though? I'm gonna say this for that one, and I hope y'all watch this back. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that got a chance, watch it back. She took that out of context.
I think she stretched it further than where it needed to go, but I don't feel like it was completely out of context. I heard the young man. We all heard him say, and because mom is broke now today because of her bad choices and her bad decisions. So why, when I could just feed her the game, right? Why should I just put her on instead of teaching her how I came on?
Yeah.
There's no misinterpretation there. What he's saying is what she said.
She took it out of context.
No, she didn't.
I'll tell you where.
No, she didn't.
Because he said,
I feel like he really, truly meant those words. Like, I'm not about to just hand you nothing, mama. I'm not about to hand you shit.
True indeed.
What I am going to do is tell you how I got it. And if you decide not to use the knowledge that I'm giving you so that you can then follow my lead, then that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever you don't got is on you.
But so where I say that she took it out of context, he said, when we get on, we helping mama, daddy, grandmama, boom, 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 boom. He said all those people, she focused on mama. You know what I'm saying? And that was
Mama
like,
should have been obsolete from that whole discussion.
no.
Yes.
So you got
I feel that way.
no.
I feel like
Why?
unless your mom was just a deadbeat parent,
By the end of the night, you will change your mind.
no, I won't.
Yes,
Unless
you
your
will.
mom was just a complete deadbeat parent and
Uh-huh.
she had nothing to do with your upbringing, then I could understand you lumping her in with that group of friends and family.
Well, he said grandma, mama, daddy, grandma, all that. So he said everybody, right? But the thing, where I think, is confusion at first, she took it out of context to make the point, not get her point. Then he said, well, let me say this. She took it out of context to make her point because he stressed mama, but he said a group of people.
He
right?
only said a group of people after saying her bad decisions, her. Like all of the examples that he was giving was her,
No,
not them,
but he
not
said-
they.
Remember, he said, when we get on, we want to help mama, daddy, grandma, and then he said the mama thing, right? So that's cool. Which is cool that either way he said it, right? But we got to think about this, right? So I remember watching that video a while back. Peace, Mr. Mitchell. Peace. How you doing, brother? That's our brother right there, Mr.
All right,
Mitchell.
all right.
I remember watching that video a while back, and I thought about it. I said, one thing that happens with this video is that we're talking about different type of people,
We are.
right? You talking about somebody that I personally would not get mad at an individual that's between the ages of
18.
35.
18 and
Yeah.
35.
18, okay, yeah, 18 and 35 that do not want to take care of their mama, right? Because I will have to get into the discussion of why, right? Do they look at their mama as a mama? Because, okay, so 35, I'm putting there, you know what happened about 35 years ago?
Yeah, it was the crack era.
Okay, cool. So a lot of them got abused by mama, mentally, physically, in all different ways.
Right.
So, but then when you come down to the lower ages, you know what happened 20 years ago.
Heroin hit and
well,
meth hit.
And then mama started wanting to live their second childhood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so now a lot of kids are looking at their mama, a lot of people that's coming up.
And looking at them as friends.
Looking at them as friends. Look, Ja Morant, the basketball player, boom, they'll catch that shoot ball, y'all, right?
Right. Memphis, the Grizzlies.
Right. That shoot, yeah, right. Memphis Grizzly. His mama got into an altercation at the stove. She ain't called his daddy. She ain't called her brother. She ain't called her cousins. She called her NBA son.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot tell me that he respects her the way your sons respect you. No matter what y'all relationship is like, you wouldn't have called your football player son. You would have called me. You would have called the son that don't do shit. You would have called your brother. But the guy that's bringing in all the money, you'd have left him out completely out of it.
Yeah, you're right.
So
You're
sometimes
right.
a lot of people,
I would have.
yeah, because anybody reasonable would have thought that way. But if she thinking like that, what is he gonna think like? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, do I respect you enough just to take care of you? Or guess what? If Ja Morant not playing basketball, right? Say he was out there hustling, he'd probably give his mama a brick.
Absolutely.
Like old boy said, I'm trying to teach you how to do this. You don't want to do this on you.
But that doesn't make it right. Like,
well, what's right and wrong?
Young men in any era
Uh-huh.
have made drastic decisions
Mhm.
that have plateaued them financially.
Yeah.
I mean, hustling has been around since before pimping days. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
when you look at the 40s, 50s, 60s, there were bootleggers back then.
Yeah.
They weren't finna teach their mama how to make and sell illegal liquor. They went out and they got it and they brought it back home to mama.
What was the difference though?
The difference is that what he's saying is that I'm going to teach you how to do it and you can get it on your own.
Look at the difference between the time that you said with the bootleggers and now. And that guy, what's the difference?
A lot of times have changed.
The matter of respect changed.
Absolutely.
So a lot of guys don't look at their mama from 35 to 18. I'm not
18
saying
to 35.
yeah. And I like to go backwards because 35 happened first. You see what I'm saying? That's why
Yeah.
I'm going backwards.
Right.
But a lot of those guys are not focused on their mama as a point of respect. So if that's the case, like I'm gonna take care of who I respect first, right?
And
So look,
so
hold 1 second. When you okay, you've heard people, you probably know people that went to the NFL, NBA, whatever the case is,
Right.
or you heard about people, right?
right.
You seen their stories. The first thing they said they're gonna do is do what?
Buy their mama house.
What about Pops? He right there too. Pops is the one that took him to all the basketball
Yeah.
games. You know, Pops
Taught them
was-
how to play basketball.
told him how to play basketball. I'm talking about the fathers that's in the house, y'all.
Right.
We're talking about those guys, the fathers that's in the house, some of the ones that's out the house, right? He took them to everything, did this, did that, boom, 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 boom. You do stuff for the person you respect the most first. And even though the father would take them to that type of stuff, the respect level was a lot lower. So that's why when you go by your house, your parents' house, you say, I'm going by mom's house.
Mm-hmm.
You don't say I'm going I'm not gonna say everybody, y'all. Don't beat me
Right.
up. But a lot
You
of people
rarely say I'm going by mom and dad's,
Or
or
parents,
I'm
or
going by
pop.
my parents' house,
Yeah.
or I'm going by my daddy house,
Yeah, if
knowing
they
that your
together.
mama lived there.
Right.
Right.
But most people will say, man, I'm about to go by mom's. The respect level.
I tend to sort of disagree with that. And here's why. Like, the mom is the most cherished person in a family structure. The husband cherishes her, the children cherish her. So it's less about the respect, but more about the honor.
Why do you honor people?
You honor people because they do great things in your life or in their lives.
Right. So if you don't,
Then you don't give it to them. I mean, you don't
So
care.
if
But
you- the show is over, y'all. That's what
No.
you just
No.
it was easy. This was
it's,
too
it's
easy.
not that easy.
Who's coming on to help? Who's coming on to
Nobody.
help? You're gonna oppose. So I
I
got
wish
one
somebody
side.
would say that it's okay to not take care of your mama. Now I know I heard him say your cousins, your grandma, everybody
Yeah.
else. I heard all that.
See, it's
But
great for me
again-
to take care of my mama. It's great for you to take care of your mama, right? But the
He
kid,
needed to explain why he feels that way about his mama then, because everybody mama ain't the same. And so for him to put out this message that we shouldn't be looking after the people that looked after us, which primarily is the mother
or grandmama,
or grandma or aunt or uncle or daddy in some cases,
right? Now
he blanketed everybody by saying, I'm not looking out for nobody. I'm going to teach y'all how to do it. And y'all could do it on your own if you want to, but you're not living off of me.
how many kids was left at home? Right? Not left at home like we was latchkey kids.
Right.
We had the
We
key.
all were left at home. Like
No, but we had the key to the house and stuff like this, right? We were latchkey kids. They actually coined the term for our age, our era, right?
They did.
But today they not latchkey kids. They just left at home. No food, no whatever. You know what I'm saying? I remember that
But
case that was right over on 64th
just-
and Villard, and them kids was left at home in feces, rats, all of this different stuff. You cannot tell me that them kids should grow up to love and take care of mama. The mama
each
is not taking care
scenario
of them.
is different.
That's
each scenario is different. But what I will say
But
is
let me
this.
say this. I'm sorry, pardon
Go ahead, go
pardon me
ahead.
for breaking your
Go
wisdom.
ahead.
But each scenario is different,
Mhm.
right? But you can't tell me two people that was in that scenario in our era. I mean, we got people, but don't get me wrong.
I can name a few. I'm not, but I could.
we got more after our era
Right.
than this era sees. We didn't see. I had no reason to not respect any mother in our era.
Right. Even like your friends' moms, right? Like
Any.
I had a village. So in my
Exactly.
neighborhood, everybody's mama was my mama, and I respected them just like they were my mom. So
Mhm.
like if my mom wasn't at home, because my mom was working 3 jobs.
Mhm.
If my mom wasn't at home, I knew I had a mother next door, 3 doors down, and at the end of the block.
Right.
And if at any point I needed anything, advice, food, doesn't matter, I could go to any of those houses and get my needs met. And I would respect those women as they were my mom. But
Can people do that today?
absolutely,
Absolutely not.
absolutely.
The cat across the street won't even talk to me. And I ain't never met him. And I'm all like just I'm just waiting for this shit. I'm like, why can't you don't speak to me, man?
But so I say it does because my son's friends call me mom.
They
call-
whoa.
they do.
Whoa, no. I'm not letting you get that off.
You
You
it's
gotta
true.
stop that. You gotta stop.
It's true.
But
they
this-
do.
Okay, how long you know
They
him?
call me mom.
How long you know him?
Most of their friends that do call me mom, I've known them since they were children.
You know him all their life. That's not this era. That's not the era. That's
But come
you,
on now,
you come out of a different
my
era.
sons are 31, 30, 28. Like they're in
Let's
that age group you just said, the
Mhm.
35 to 18.
let's see the people come that okay, so let's see the people. Right? Let's see the people that come out now that move around a lot. They
So
move
then
around.
now you just shortened your age bracket because I can affirmatively state that
You the
my
exception.
children in the 20s
But
have friends that are in their 20s that call me mom and respect me as mom.
yeah, because you
And I've even like one of my son's friends, he's a big guy now, but when he was younger,
okay.
he always used to say, like, if I ever go to the NFL, I'm gonna make sure I take care of you. He doesn't have to. I
Because
never
he
asked or expected.
respected you.
Right. So
It
again,
didn't have nothing to do with because he was
he's part of that age bracket though.
Yeah, but what? Who's not?
What do you mean who's not?
You not.
No, I'm not.
Right.
So again,
So you showed nothing but respect.
no, I just showed care and concern for a kid. That's it. I didn't show that kid respect. I just showed that I cared. I'm a caring person.
Care
I'm a
and
giving
concern
person.
is very much respectful.
I
That's what
wasn't
it is.
expecting respect in return.
And I don't know the kid or nothing like that, but you don't know what the other people were showing him. A lot of times.
Mr. Higgins said, I moved to Alabama to take care of my daddy and mama. My pops died 2 years ago. No, I'm taking care of moms. It is an honor and a privilege to be in a place in my life to do this. Sorry, generation.
No, that's true though, because that.
But that's how we were raised, is what my brother is saying, is we're doing what we naturally saw happen throughout our lifetime.
Yeah.
When my grandmother got sick, she lived with us.
Yeah, we didn't see that. I'm about to say.
You see what I'm saying?
We didn't see the nursing home as a place to take
Right.
your
A nursing home
grandma-
was
your
out of the
grandma-
question. So
Right.
like when my grandparents got sick, this is what happened. Similarly, now, my mom is up in age. If ever she needed me to step in and take care of her, I'm going to do it without hesitation. But this guy's generation, and I'm going to say 25 and younger, this generation seems to now have this sense of entitlement to themselves. Like, I did this all by myself. I made it. And so
Because
I'm not entitled to have to reach back out.
They was abandoned.
Not every child was abandoned.
No, not everybody. But they
And-
was abandoned. A lot of
Okay,
them was abandoned.
But he grouped in everybody in the family.
Everybody abandoned them.
You can't say that. You
I'm-
can't say, you don't know that definitively.
No, but a lot of people we know out of that age group I know plenty of children that were abandoned.
And so they were raised by who? Because these kids weren't just thrown to the wolves
Some
and
of
raising themselves.
Some of them.
They weren't. A majority of these kids who were abandoned were put in foster care systems where other adults took
that's
care of them.
worse.
That's mom now. That's mom and dad.
That's worse. They get abused in the foster care
The
stuff.
foster care system is fucked up here in
It's
Wisconsin.
been bad.
But not every foster parent is bad. I know some
No,
really good foster parents. So I can't say that. But again, what I'm saying is that if these children were left to themselves, eventually someone, an adult, got a hold of them and helped to give them proper guidance. So this young man who stated these things had to have been raised at some point by some adult who cared enough about him. And yet, ideally, who we would think, if it ain't mama, because now he mad at mama, then it was daddy. If it wasn't daddy, it was an aunt or uncle. If it wasn't an aunt or uncle, then it was a grandma. So you mean to tell me all these people failed you in your life? Everybody?
A lot
And
of
then
people.
if it wasn't your immediate family structure, then you mean to tell me that the adults that had some part in your life meant nothing to you?
A lot of people are like that, yeah.
But then on the flip side of that, you have people, abandoned children that grow up to be adults and reach back out and say, I need to find my mama and my daddy. I don't know who they are, but I need to find them. And I'm going to look after them. I'm going to take care of them when I do find them, because now I'm in a position where I can do that.
They never seen the disrespect though.
The disrespect was abandonment.
No, I'm okay. So I was looking at, like, when you said abandonment, like somebody left them at this doorstep, right? Or they left them at the fire department, right? That's putting
It's still abandonment.
No. We're talking about two different abandonments. I'm talking about the abandonment where
you raise the child to a certain
No.
a certain age.
Listen to me, y'all.
Oh my God.
Listen
My brother
to me.
needs some help, y'all.
No, check it out though. This is the abandonment I'm talking about. I'm talking about the abandonment where you leave that person in the house for 2 or 3 days, come back, you know what I'm saying? They don't have anything to eat. You know, we just seen a case like that on TV last year.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have anything. That's abandonment. Like they 4, 5, 6, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got a 6-year-old taking care of a 1-year-old.
Right. And we
You know
talked
what I'm
about that
saying?
on a previous show.
Yeah, and now they gone for a couple days. That's the abandonment, not the one where they just leaving them. And now I
In
bring my
either
child to you and leave.
scenario.
No. Because here goes the thing. I bring my child to you and leave it with you, right?
Right.
They can feel abandoned, right? But they got you to love them. So now you, mama. But leaving that child in the house, 2 or 3 of them in the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a different level of abandonment. Like, damn, that's abuse abandonment.
Right.
One is, okay, I care about you enough to hand you off to ICE. The other is, I don't give a fuck about you. I'm gonna leave you in the house. You know
right,
what I'm
because
saying?
my needs and what I want to do supersedes
Exact. That's what I'm saying.
I get it, but again,
Go ahead.
yeah,
Keep
no,
going.
I think again that there are circumstances that even children in that scenario still reach out. And after the resolution of the abandonment, because there will come a time where you have to face this person, your mother, your father, who abandoned you.
He hasn't made it to that point yet.
He hasn't. And so again, that's why I need more to his story to be like, why would you feel that way? Why do you feel like
he was abandoned?
Okay, you
so
were
he gotta
abandoned.
feel that way. There is no other way.
But you
to
don't
feel.
put it out there like that though. You then say,
Let me ask you-
I'm not gonna never take care of these people because they ain't never did shit for me. The way his message came off was, y'all shouldn't. Let me tell y'all what y'all shouldn't do. Y'all shouldn't take care of your family
That's
members
probably what
because of
happened
this,
to
that, and
him.
the other. Don't put a message like that out there, because then you never know whose ears it's gonna fall upon.
Oh, okay.
To the
please.
point where, you see what I'm saying?
Oh, I like that part. But
if you feel that way about your people and nobody has ever done you any good, then speak your story. But make sure that when you're speaking your story and giving out a message, that you're saying this is why the message is being given. Mm-hmm. You don't just say, yeah, y'all dumb as a motherfucker that want to take care of your parents. Who the fuck would want to do that?
But you
teach them the game, teach them how you came up, and then let them figure the shit out on their own.
Yeah. Because if he had to figure it out on his own, then his only recourse is to make other people. Hey, you can figure it out on your own too, man. Fuck them, man. You don't need nobody. Go and figure it out too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you won't play like that. Read these comments before they go, because I got
read these comments. Bobby Simmons said earlier in life, young men were not looking to take care of family financially because their father was the man of the house. He asked his wife's father for that assessment. I mean, in some cases, yes, but in some cases, there's we all know of a lot of absentee fatherless homes. So a lot of times young men at 16, 15, as soon as they're able to get a job, paper routes, they bringing that money home to mama. They bringing that money home to mama. I got a Burger King job. I get $100 a week.
Not now. You talking
Not
about
now, but back then.
we talking about two different eras.
Right.
Because now what they gonna do when they get their job?
Now these young kids these days, 25 and under,
Uh-huh.
are selfish.
There you go.
I think they're very selfish, but it has nothing to do with how they were raised.
Where they get selfishness from?
They're getting selfishness because of entitlement. Like
That's how they raised.
I've seen it more often than not. You can't tell me a whole generation of kids were parentless that had abandonment issues. A whole goddamn classification age bracket of kids
Hell
have
yeah.
suffered this. I'm not buying
Hell
it.
Yeah, yes.
I'm
a
not buying
whole
it.
lot of them have gotten these issues that they need to deal with, that some adults, some of their parents placed upon them, right? You know, look, they feel abandoned. Look, this is a somewhat of a personal story. I done had a situation where for my kids, I fought for them in court.
Right.
But then my oldest daughter, she told me one day that mom's told her I ain't never did shit for her. I ain't never paid no money. I ain't did none of this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she lacks respect for me,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because of the lie that was told.
Right.
Until I showed her on paper, on computer, I should say that, on screen. I showed her the amount of money that her mama was getting every month, right?
And that didn't change her though.
Well, yeah, it did. It did. She started crying immediately.
But did she gain the respect thereafter because of all the lies she was told before?
So what happened is it changed her somewhat. It obviously can't change everything, but it changed her somewhat. And it actually also made her look at moms different.
Right.
You've been playing me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but she did know that, oh, he ain't abandoned me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He actually wanted me.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then now think about it. She thought I just said, boom, fuck it.
Right.
I'm done. I don't want
done.
nothing to
I
do
don't
with
want
you,
no
not the
financial
mama.
responsibility or emotional responsibility.
Yes.
I want to act like you don't exist.
See, some of the kids, right? And people can act like it, or they don't gotta know them or nothing like that. But I know some kids that went through hell,
Mm-hmm.
right? Someone went to custody with us. They went through hell,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I know this personally.
Mhm.
Remember, I told the story on the live one
You
time
did.
where the video game, not the whole game, a cartridge came up missing, and then mom said somebody broke in and stole it. A jacket came up missing. Mom said somebody broke in and stole it. The car came up missing. Somebody stole the car. Right? We like, God damn, how they take everything from y'all, right?
Right.
But moms was doing that.
Right. She was turning around probably selling it to get high or something.
Yes. And then, so I got disappointed one night. I actually seen mom going to the gas station on Titonia North. Going into the gas station, mom's trying to, that guy's mama, that all the stuff was coming up missing, she tried to approach me. Yeah.
As if you were the one stole it.
She was trying to sell herself to me.
Oh, goddamn.
She didn't recognize me.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? She didn't
Wow.
recognize me as the person that she done because she was so high.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't have as much respect for her. You know what I mean? She did still, but they couldn't be the same.
Kane Long said, my siblings and I gave a portion of our income tax return every year. Our mother is everything to us.
She's supposed to be. She's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Read this one. I'm just doing
Bobby
these comments because they'll
Simmons
get away
said,
from us.
there is no way that most men in my generation would have said what he said. He also said, these motherfuckers. This generation has different views. I agree.
It's the generation, man. That's the only thing. That's Mr. Simmons. That's the reason why, and you see it. That's the reason why we go after the young cats and be trying to teach them. We try to teach them at every chance, every turn we can get. You know what I'm saying? Because the generational piece,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Look, one of the guys told me, he young, he 29. He young to me. But he told me it was so cold. He said he was in the shop about a week ago, July 4th. He was in the shop on July 4th. And he told me, he said, you not seeing it my way because you older.
Mm.
But I said, man, wait a minute. I was your age before you was my age. I mean,
Right.
before you is that age. I said, Dr. King, Allah, Malcolm X, all of these, Marcus Garvey, Shirley Chisholm. I said, all of these people were your age. You're not the first to do this.
Right.
This is a rerun.
And you're
right?
not the first to experience some of the things that you're experiencing. Like when you talk about the common day abandonment, right?
Yeah.
Where these kids are being left at home. Hundreds of thousands of kids were being left at home back in slave days. Who the fuck do you think was taking care of them kids? They was taking care of themselves. Why? Because mama was in the house cooking it for the master and cleaning and taking care of his kids. She couldn't take care of her own because she was out there taking care of his kids. Meanwhile, daddy in the damn fields picking cotton from sun up to sundown. So the children that they bore, that they brought into this world, had to fend for themselves. You're not the first one. And it was abandonment by force, not even by choice. Then you fast forward,
But it wasn't abandonment.
it's definitely abandonment. I don't care how you look at it.
No, let me show you though. This is why it wasn't abandonment. So I'm gonna give you one more point, right? It's great. This is crazy. It wasn't abandonment because it was doing for the unit, right?
No, they weren't doing that for the unit, though. I mean, if you look at the common structure
Wait a
of a
minute.
slave family, they weren't working for master in the field or in the house to better themselves or to better their family.
Yes,
they were
they
forced
was.
to do it.
They,
No,
hold,
they
hold on, baby. Hold on. They were doing that. They were doing that for the unit to so that they children, the husband didn't get beat, the children didn't get sold off. They were doing that stuff forcibly, yes, but they were doing that so that we could stay together. You know what I'm saying? Because if I resist to that, then now, my wife is over there, and then here this guy is, he's
Now I'm being
a
sold to the
sexually
highest bidder.
assaulting, sexually assaulting
Right.
the wife, maybe the man, and take maybe the children.
Mhm.
So I'm doing this to try to keep us together. So that's what I mean when I was like they was doing that for the unit, But now this is what's really bad, right? I see a lot of people today got 2 or 3 people, right, in a house.
Adults.
No, you got 2 adults and a child, right?
Right.
And they say the house too big, right? And I tell people this. This I've heard this from my own ears from people that I'm having a conversation with. 2 or 3 people in a house. House is too big, right? Who's the house too big for? So y'all dividing yourself,
Mhm.
right? Now y'all need a bigger house. Y'all don't get together as much. Not all.
Right.
Not all. Don't get me wrong. You got exceptions, but this is the rule,
Mhm.
right? So in that rule, you are dividing the unit.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? There is no
You're giving
unit.
them 6 degrees of separation.
10. But they don't have a unit anymore,
Right.
right?
Now
So-
everyone has the freedom to become individuals
And with that
and
individuality,
think separately.
we lose respect because look, how I'm going to respect the guy that comes in and don't speak to us? He goes straight to the bedroom.
Mhm.
He goes straight, do what he gonna do. He go to what they call a man cave. I wish I would call something a cave. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. Read these comments real quick.
All
Give us
right,
one
next
second.
comment.
Dream, we see you. We're gonna let you spill on in a minute. We're gonna read these comments so they don't get away from us.
I read that one from Bobby Simmons. Go
Okay,
to
that's
Kane
peace.
Long.
Mr. Mitchell.
I support my mother now financially. My sister does the day-to-day things.
Okay. This is
Someone watching from Facebook. I can't
Tell us
speak
who
for
you are.
anyone else, but I am always going to be there for my mama. The unconditional love and sacrifice she had bringing me up, it's the least I can do, and it's not up for debate.
yeah, that can't well see you speaking about a different kind of mama. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You speaking about a different kind of mama. Your mama, you got respect for her. If she was taking care of you, you know what I'm saying? She gave you unconditional love. And you see what she said? sacrifice. I mean, whoever said it, sacrifice,
Right.
right? You know, that's one of the things that a lot of these younger people today, and I'm not saying all older people did it, but when I speak, I'm speaking about the exception to the rule and the rule, right? Peace. That's peace. That's peace. I like that.
You know where that came from, right?
Yeah, it's right
that
there.
comment,
Yeah,
right?
it's right there. Yeah. Still in my heart.
That's from our sister Dana, aka
Queen
Queen
Wisdom.
Intelligent Wisdom.
Yeah, and that's real. But so you got like people that now, or sometimes the rule is they not sacrificing for the unit. Like I would listen. Check this out. If it meant my wife and kids, if I got that unit with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it meant for me to go out and shovel some snow,
Right.
so make sure that they can eat, rake some leaves,
Mhm.
whatever it is, wash cars. A lot of people won't make that sacrifice to make their people. You know, a lot of guys won't even get a job. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys want
You
you.
talking about the 35 and under?
Why? Why am I talking about 35 and under?
Because I can't fathom.
Keep going. Keep going.
I
Keep-
can't fathom
keep going.
anyone older than 35 years
Keep going.
old still being a bum and
See,
not
that's-
wanting to do
that-
something with themselves.
In general, most people.
Right, like you
Yeah,
now
see?
you've lived as an adult now
Yes,
for roughly
go for
17
it.
years,
Go ahead.
and out of 17 years, you ain't tired of being broke, and you ain't tired of being a bum.
There you go. And that and like we just said, not all, but a lot. So that's exactly what I'm saying. You ain't gonna see you know in abundance. We don't see that.
No,
So boom, that's exactly the people I'm talking about. The other people that do see it. You see what I'm saying? Okay, let's read these because
all right.
with
Next
the
comment,
mouse, we can.
Bobby Simmons. There's several people in this group that know that I have 2 of my grandkids living with me. Their
Yes.
mother is one of my daughters. I make sure that they have a relationship with her as well as with their dad. So given that, Mr. Simmons, would you allow your grandson when they get older, 18 plus, to then say, fuck you, because you grandpa, you showed them love and cared for them. Fuck you, fuck they mama, because she really ain't been there. Would you allow that to happen?
Everybody didn't
And
abandon them, though.
is it okay then? Well, in a
It's
sense,
no, because see, look, he said it right there. He said, boo, 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 boo.
he said that he
of my
makes sure
grandkids
that they
living-
have a relationship with her.
No, he said 2 of my grandkids living with me. So the mama could be one of the mamas that abandoned them in your care. See what I'm saying? That's okay. I can't do it. Here, take them. Thus, they're having a relationship with her and the dad, right? Yeah, I can't do it, right? And we ain't gonna allow it as grandparents, right?
Right.
We not gonna. I don't care what's going on. We're gonna make sure they good,
Right.
right? So yeah, you can't do it. Give them to me. We're gonna make sure they straight. And every once in a while, we're gonna make sure that y'all know each other.
And I'll be goddamn if those kids grow up to be 18 plus
But
and
they
say,
can't.
yeah, I'm rich.
No,
I
but-
got
no,
it.
but they-
And grandpa,
No,
You
no, no,
gotta
no,
figure
no,
it out
no,
on your
no, boom,
own.
boom, 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 boom. But so like that's the point right there of that guy's story, right? So with that person who showed them that love, right? Is he gonna say, "Mama, I'm gonna buy you a house," or is he gonna say, "You know what, Granddad, Grandma, I'm gonna get y'all that house first." He gonna get to them first before he get to them.
you love grandparents in there.
No, only reason, yeah. But the ones that abandoned them, the ones that like we seen all them kids that lived in that house. It was a kid. It was like a 1-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an 8-year-old, and they was in the house for 4, 5. No, they was in the house for about a month together,
Mhm.
right? So they was in the house for about a month. I seen this on the news recently. So they was in the house by themselves for about a month. That's abandonment.
Mhm.
Nobody came to their aid, right? Until one of the neighbors or somebody seen them and like, wait a minute. Boom. Even what's the name? The girl that got killed with us, right? Remember? You know, at the JoJo, she lived on the block with me. Joanne.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So her kids seen the, you know what I'm saying? Then they had
And
to
it was
get
their
taken.
daddy. Yeah.
Yes. So they had to get taken. They'll never love him.
No.
Well, they shouldn't. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But
Rightfully so.
okay, we got a few seconds here before we read these other comments. The Dream, speak.
Go ahead, the Dream. Speak on this topic.
Hey, it's good to see you. What you eating?
Ice.
Oh my
You
goodness.
eating?
She's not eating me. Come on now.
Okay.
She's got a cup full of iced water, like water formulated into
I just to play on words.
ice.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dream.
Dream.
Hey y'all, how you doing?
Hey,
Peace.
honey.
It's good to see you.
I wish you were still
Good,
here.
If I was there, I'd be there.
I know.
Yeah.
We all here.
Let me tell you, when I first saw the clip, the first thing that came to mind, in the immortal words of Tupac, we're gonna have a race of babies that hate the ladies that make the babies.
He's right.
Why? What did he say before that?
Oh, you want me to quote the song?
So
he
to you.
wants to know why Tupac got to that place. What did he say in the song to get to that?
It's the song "Keep Your Head Up," but he was just saying, as men, we should heal our women, be real to our women, because if we don't, we'll have a race of babies that'll hate the ladies that make the babies.
What do heal your woman mean?
You going down the wrong rabbit hole.
Dream.
Listen.
Listen, you're
Dream.
going down the wrong rabbit hole.
Dream. You know we're gonna examine to the fullest. I'll leave it alone, but you know we're gonna examine. You ain't gonna meet no God that's not gonna examine, and the words are gonna mean a lot. But when you talk about healing the women, you got to take them to a place. You got to take that woman that you're dealing with to a place where she want to nurture the children, where she want to be a unit. You got to be able to take her there, or else the women are gonna do.
That's born phone again, ain't it?
It is.
That's my baby girl.
That's
my
his
daughter.
hotline.
It's my daughter. So you got to have them women in a place where they are seen as respectful, right? Or else the women are going to do bad to the babies. Like what's the other song? Let's go. Since you're talking about Tupac.
I'm saying, when I saw the video,
Brenda's got a baby. So we got that song too. Let's not one song about the other song with the women. Right?
She's not gonna let you get away with this one.
I wasn't gonna go down Tupac's catalog. What I was gonna say,
let's go,
was, you ready?
I think so. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
You ready? I think I'm ready.
What I was gonna say was, when I saw that clip, that's what came to mind.
Yeah.
That 20 years later, we in the place where it sounds like his words are coming to pass in that respect. I agree with what you were saying. And it's funny because I agree with a lot of points on both sides. Different generations, he was a young dude. Different generations definitely have a different take on the respect levels for mothers. But I definitely think it got to do with how the mothers showed up for those kids first. Right?
Motherfuckers break concrete for their mama back in the days.
And they still will if mama did them right.
If they did them right, yep, that's right.
I think my sons would break concrete for me.
Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, I've never had an indication that they wouldn't. If they had it, I probably wouldn't have a care in the world.
Right.
When they get it, I probably won't. But I'm the type that's always gonna try to get my own. So the point, though, really about what he's saying, on the one hand, I do understand not wanting to take on everybody. Like I did understand. I like the metaphor he used when he said, bring a potluck to the table and not everybody eating off his plate. But there's so many nuances to that, because like she said, if if he telling mama, and mama is older, and he like, oh, mama, let me teach you cryptocurrency trading so you can get this money. There's so many nuances to that. Mama might not be tech savvy. Mama might not understand finances. That might not be mama gift. So to offer to teach somebody what you know that made you money, your path ain't everybody's path. Now, if you done discovered a way to lick envelopes and make $1 million, you can teach everybody that, because anybody can lick an envelope.
Right.
But a lot of the things that these young people are doing today to get money is because of the technology that we have. If
Absolutely.
it's not sports or it's not music, mama can't act, mama can't sing, mama can't rap, so that's not going to happen. But the
Right.
ones that's making money outside of those industries, a lot of this hustle mentality that's making them money is technology based.
Right.
Yeah,
And you're not going to find a lot of people in the older generation who could do it as well. And that don't mean everybody. Is some older people that kill a game, but not most people.
Right.
Yeah, you can't put that on them. And I mean, even on the lowest level, being a barber, I take appointments, right? And so
Mhm.
the older people, I don't even force them to use the app themselves.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They'll call me. You know what I mean? Because I'm like,
Exactly.
I don't even want them to mess it up. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna
Right.
just go ahead. When they call out, go ahead. Just tell me what you want and I'll put you in.
Yeah, because new technology is frustrating to people. I would have to say 65 and up. Like it's hard to adapt to after 65 years of no technology in your life other than a telephone that's connected to the wall.
And TV and shit.
It's hard for them to adapt. So like my mom to this day has a cell phone that she keeps turned off in her purse, and it takes her forever to turn it on, and let alone she can't tell you everything that her phone does. She only turns it on in the extreme emergency where a couple years ago she got into a car accident. She was flustered. She said, Tina, I tried to call you. I'm sorry. I took the phone out and it took too long to turn on. So I just flagged down the nearest person and said, can you call my daughter? Can you call my daughter? Because
they don't know yet.
Right. I mean, it's hard to teach them how to do this new wave of earning income. Like a lot of these 18 to 25, they're all into, besides cryptocurrency, social media. A lot of them are making a decent living off of social media alone. And to try and teach someone 65 plus how to earn income from one of those two avenues, it'd probably be easier just to give them the money. I mean,
and then that falls back on. I'm willing to just give the person some money that I think really out of respect deserve it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the person that doesn't, it's like he torturing them. So in his eyes, if he gonna teach them cryptocurrency or whatever the case is, right, trading and all of this, that's like, I'm gonna make you get it like I got it. I'm gonna torture you because you tortured me.
Right.
And that goes back to that somewhat of maybe I would, like you said, we don't know his story, but a lot of that generation story is, I feel like the parents say fuck you, so I'm going to say fuck you back. Right. And that's what he really, really, really bad.
I think that's probably what he boiled down to in his message. But ultimately, he's speaking to his peers. And when you're putting a message out there that's so blanketed to people that will really adapt to and hang on to your every word, that's not a good message to give out, because you have some kids that are 35 and under that come from really good homes, but because my homeboy said, they're gonna run with that.
Yeah, because that's my
homeboy said, if I get this contract and making millions of dollars, why am I looking out for you?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I looking out for you? Mom, you still work. Dad, you still work. Y'all making a good living. Why I gotta buy y'all a house? Y'all got a house.
Right. That's what's the name too, though. It's like the Children of the Corn when the children band together,
Mhm.
right? In that movie, they band together. Right?
Everybody was Malachi was the leader.
Exactly. And what did Malachi do? He convinced the others.
He did.
But the reason why he convinced the others, right, was like, damn, I don't want to do that. But yeah, you kind of right. And so he was talking to those people that he was talking to the Children of the Corn. Like, boom, let's go get them. Let's do what we got to do.
Right.
Because they bullshitted us, so we're going to bullshit them, whatever
Right.
the case is. You know, you want to read that one?
Yeah, I'll read it. Bobby Simmons said, continuing on, their father tried a lot, but it was my daughter in the wrong. So if someday my grandson feels like this, I will still help him understand. And that's what a good parental guidance does, whether it be grandparentage, whether it be aunts and uncles who sometimes double in kids' lives as a parent or parental role, adoptive, foster, all of that.
I like how you said that, though.
What?
You said good.
Yeah.
Good parental guidance.
Good parental guidance.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine.
The ones that talk like the guy that we see in the video probably did not have good parental guidance. Because a person with good parental guidance don't say stupid shit.
Right. And so now you admit he said some stupid shit.
No, wait.
No, I'm not letting you let that go.
You got to remember, like, I'm the type of guy, you the type of woman experiencing and Bobby and all of these people, we the type of people, right, that we can figure out, right? This cat could not have had a great relationship with moms.
Right. But see, here's the thing. We all have witnessed someone who has had a fucked up life.
Mm-hmm.
And given that fucked up lives, majority of the people, like if I had 5 people and I knew 5 people that had fucked up lives, 4 out of the 5 are still fucked up themselves. Mm-hmm. In one way, fashion, or another. Mm-hmm. They either own drugs, they either they're just not doing good. Mm-hmm. And so to me, for this kid to grow up and at least start to make a substantial amount of money to the point where he feels like he's so well off and he's not looking back at anybody, somebody helped him get there.
Who?
Somebody showed him love, care, and concern.
No.
He didn't do that shit on his own.
Malachi
wasn't successful.
But Malachi is the one that showed him. And the reason I say Malachi.
So you're saying that his peers helped him to gain the confidence.
Who's his peers? I'll show you who his peers is. His peers are the technology, like you just said, the tech savvy, whatever it was, like that's his peers, right? So the social media is his peers. I'm learning it. You can learn it too. You know what I'm saying? And so he's not taking into consideration that we had a telephone that dialed like this. He's not taking that into because I resisted these phones that look at your face.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I did not want the one with the thumb.
Right.
I'm like, nah, just the buttons. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So but he's what he's taking into consideration is that the people who was down with, who was around him or who's supposed to have been around with him, they got to do it themselves because he did it himself. He learned that tech. Like y'all just said, the Dream and yourself said, a lot of the people that's in a certain age group, they're not tech savvy. So they couldn't be the ones who showed him how to do it.
Right.
So
they didn't show him
like
how to do it.
You said social media, right? They're making a significant income off of it. They might not, some people might be making $1,000 a month. Some people might be making $10 or $20 or $100,000 a month, right? And if they doing that, right, the person that's not savvy couldn't have showed them. You see what I'm saying? So
but
basically,
see, I look
in
at
essence,
the underprivileged, and
but you
so
gotta you gotta look in essence, right? They learned it themselves because nobody was loving them.
I don't believe that.
We're not talking about everybody.
I don't even believe that this young man went his whole entire childhood, his whole adolescence, without anyone loving him at all.
Very possible.
It's hard to fathom that.
Very possible.
It's very hard to fathom that.
Okay, this is a stretch. I might hurt my shoulder on this one, y'all. It's reaching. I'm reaching. But remember when we seen DMX on that lady's show, I can't Iana.
Iana.
Yeah.
Yeah, we seen him on her show, right?
Mhm.
That boy was hurt. He felt abandoned by his daddy, right? And all he wanted to do was love his daddy and receive love.
Right.
And we seen his pops was like, well, fuck it, I'll see you at the funeral, man. At my funeral. I'm gonna see you at my funeral. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And like, give me a hug, man. Think about that now. That type of thing. Now, DMX is a big star, big famous. Everybody knows DMX. Imagine the people that don't nobody know, and trying a child trying to get love from that person. Imagine if nobody knew DMX, right? Nobody knew him, right? And that child was trying to get love. So at that moment, we seen that show. You can only say and deduce from what we seen that the child felt rejected, and the child was an adult,
Right.
and he felt rejected. He was crying.
He reverted back to all the pain that he dealt with or
Boom.
kind of internalized.
Boom. And this
From
is the
the
person that
events
I'm
of his
talking about.
past.
That's the person I'm talking about. Now, we know it ain't everybody.
Right. It's not everybody. And it's not to say that DMX wasn't loved by somebody. Like, he talks about his grandmother and he talks about his aunts and uncles who took care of him
But the
And-
boy, though.
as a boy.
And what
That's I'm
happened?
saying.
No, I'm talking about, and the boy, okay, so.
But the boy
son.
only wanted his father.
Uh-huh. You heard how I said that?
But he got love, though. He got love, though.
How you
Somebody
doing, son?
loved on that kid.
Yes, yes. But
It just wasn't the love that he wanted.
well, he got abandoned by,
His father.
why?
Because he's a fucking crackhead.
Okay, there it is. See what I'm saying? See, this is exactly what I'm saying. No matter what, how famous he is, how much money he got, he still had these issues that he was dealing with, and which left the child to deal with issues. Again, not everybody, because you came home, Experience came home, I came home, whoever came home by ourselves, and we cooked and stuff, and boom, 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 boom. We had older sisters, no brothers, and different stuff like that. But we were latchkey kids, right? We didn't feel that way because we were like, if mom left a note, like, eat this thing here, boom, boom, boom. Make sure you do your homework. Make sure it's clean when I get here, whatever the case is. That was love.
It was.
That boy felt rejected. He didn't feel love. And he was an
He
adult.
didn't feel love from the person he wanted it from the most, but you can't say he
Exactly.
didn't go through an entire adolescence without love, period.
No, but
People loved him.
I know, but okay. So this is this example, right? Like I said, I might hurt my shoulder here.
So I
but-
can't
Wait a
imagine
minute,
DMX
wait,
saying,
see?
fuck my grandma.
All right,
I'm gonna
but-
go out and come back in because the audio and video is not synced. I'll be right back.
Okay.
But not DMX, but the boy, his son, right?
Yeah.
Imagine, okay, now check this out. DMX saying all of that stuff. Now I know the boy was reaching and he loved him, but I could still imagine that boy saying, you know what? I done hit the lottery. Fuck him, man. I could see that happening. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but he's not saying fuck the whole family structure.
But he's saying fuck his daddy.
Yeah,
So-
I'm on board
Yeah,
with
but-
those that don't play an integral part of your life,
Right.
whether it's your mom, your dad, whoever.
See, everybody
yeah,
didn't
fuck
abandon, but
them.
that person abandoned him. So some people, the whole structure is fucked up.
Some
You see what
people
I'm
it
saying?
is.
And that's what he was speaking. And that's, I'm not saying that is what he's speaking to, but that's possibly what he was speaking to. Read these.
Let me
Anybody
read
on
them.
Facebook, I'm saying peace to y'all because I seen some names on there. I wish y'all would come over to the YouTube.
Right.
Chris, I seen you. Y'all got to come on through.
Rashidi, we see you.
We seen you, Rashidi. We seen you. Come over here to the YouTube so we can speak and get in and do what we do.
All right, next comment. Crack messed up a whole lot of families. It
I'm
definitely
telling-
did.
the mentality of crack.
It did.
That was the killer was the mentality of the crack.
It did.
The mentality of crack was I don't give a fuck about nothing.
Right. Nothing.
know what
Not
I'm
even
saying?
myself.
Yeah, and that's not just the user, but it's the crack itself.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes
To get this high.
the high and the money. The
Mhm.
crack made him do that. The crack did that. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get this high, get this money. Woo, 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 woo. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Who I'm gonna leave abandoned?
Everybody.
The wife that don't work. You know what I'm saying? When remember back in the days, the man used to take care of the whole
Right.
house.
He did.
Yeah, the wife.
Financially, yeah.
Yeah, the wife that didn't work, now she got to, do whatever, go out and work 2-3 jobs. The kids that, what I'm saying, they needed their mama to help them with the homework or,
she not there
provide
and you not
food.
there because you the crackhead.
Yeah, and sometimes he might be the dealer, and now you get the dough kicked in, and y'all on the streets and shit, all types of shit. I see this young fella talking. I'm telling you.
Next comment, Mr. Higgins. They still had values in slavery times. Yeah,
That's
they
what it
did.
boiled down
They
to.
did.
Crack took that away, though. Crack. I mean, a lot of stuff took that away, but that little rock there, that took away values.
Yeah, it did.
You know what I'm saying? When I first heard about somebody,
Strung
cleaning
out.
a rifle for a crack,
Mhm.
I was like, damn, there's no value in your life.
I mean, we know that sometimes they even devalue themselves even worse than just that. Like,
Yeah.
some of them do something strange for a piece of change and a piece of crack.
And yes, I mean, real. I mean, just like boom. But
And so in the crack era, my brothers were dope dealers, right? And I was totally against it. But at the same time, I didn't realize the impact that it would have on society. I don't think they understood that. But what I often saw was the ridicule. So, like, they would often tell me that they had this crackhead that washed their car, or my brothers were into dogs. So I had this crackhead clean out the kennel for a $10 rock. And I'm like, that's so degrading. Sometimes they would even like make them pick up dog shit with their hands.
Yeah, be just nasty.
Yeah, just real nasty with it, just so that this person could get high. And I'm like, do you understand that is? And I would tell my brothers, like, do you understand that is probably somebody's father, somebody's uncle, someone's
Sister,
brother,
mama,
and you're degrading them to the point where you're like, I don't give a fuck that you're picking up dog shit with your hands. Pick it up, put it in the trash, and I'll give you a rock.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, the
stories.
dealers contributed to the downfall of the respect or lack thereof in a family.
That's why I said the crack, because it was the crack that made the person that said pick it up, and it was the crack that said I'm gonna pick it up.
I'm gonna pick it up because I need to get high.
It's the crack, yeah.
Yeah.
So that crack spoke Pookie. I mean, that's what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And people just went way deep with that nonsense. And we didn't know, nobody knew what it was going to do. Nobody could see that. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to tell y'all this before we go, right? Because we ain't going to stick around the whole night. But I'm waiting to see what this new marijuana is going to do. Because there's a lot of chemicals being put in this marijuana.
It is, yeah.
In the growth process. I'm looking at this new level of marijuana. Like I look at football, basketball, boxing, all of these things. And the reason I say that is because as time moves forward, we'll be able to see what the results are.
Right.
We starting to see football, the results of the brain, what they call it, CTE, I think it is. But we starting to see the brain injuries. But football ain't been around long enough. So now, as time goes on, before they weren't doing the testing, so they probably had more injuries. Now we are seeing the technology tested out and seeing the injuries, right? And now we about to see in a minute. I don't know what that is. In a minute, what the marijuana is going to do.
How it's impacting people.
Yes, and it got to be impacting in a dangerous manner.
I believe so.
Maybe not as like anything else, but
do
something.
But it definitely probably will have some lasting effect. I mean, you're putting all these foreign chemicals in your body, your bloodstream. So at some point, it's gonna wear and tear somewhere.
Your lungs and brain got to get it.
Lungs, heart, something.
Yeah,
it's gonna catch it.
It's gonna get it. And these are foreign. Look. They making weed, they making marijuana, different strands of it by grafting stuff together.
Right. Hybrids is what they call it.
That's good. A hybrid is not good. And being part of the grafting process is not. I don't want two things that you put together. When you put two things together, you get some deformities, right? And what them deformities end up doing is continuing on to deform others. And that's what's going to end up happening with a lot of people in the future.
Mhm.
And in probably another 25 years, we could see the full effects of the crack era of the 85 for almost 40 years later.
Yeah, because a lot of those crackheads, even after they clean themselves up, their bodies have been so broken down by the effects
Oh yes.
of the drug to where a lot of them are disabled or
Oh, yeah.
have something
Severely.
something going on
Yep.
with
And,
their bodies.
yep. And the weed gonna do the same thing. You know, the weed, the cigarettes, all of that stuff. We haven't had enough time with cigarettes. You know, and when I say that, I'm talking about cigarettes and technology. They got to match up
Mhm.
where we can say, oh, this is what it did, right? Because it wasn't nothing but about 40 years ago where everybody on TV had a cigarette in their hand.
Right.
So we gotta wait just a little bit for that technology to catch up to be able to scan your brain and your lungs and stuff. We gonna see people's lungs just go. When they take their lungs out, it's just gonna disintegrate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All this nonsense gonna happen. Experience. We're not gonna stick around too long. You want to say something else, sweetheart?
No, was just listening just now.
Mr. Higgins said, Ice, there's a whole lot of kids that know what love is. Most of our generation went to church and know God loves us. These kids don't even know that. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I love everybody.
Right.
Yeah,
Like love has become almost a 4-letter word these days. Like it's used so loosely amongst this teen population in the early 20s. Like people that meet each other are randomly saying, hey, you know what? I love you. And
Yeah.
people are just saying, oh, you know what? I love you back. How can you so loosely use that term?
it's so.
That's
It's
like
You're
friend
almost
and sis.
you're watering down what it actually means to love
Right.
somebody.
and then
Like,
when,
like how they use friend and family and sis. It irritates me because when you use it so much, it don't mean anything. And these are words that's supposed to mean something.
Right.
right, no doubt, no doubt. You know what's weird about that though is that you know, when you use it now, when you just say you tell somebody, okay, so you get into somewhat of a relationship or whatever you these days, and you say, hey, I love you, baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's the bullshit. She don't
It
even think it
is.
is.
She don't even
though
realize it.
or he don't realize it, right? So because they like, yeah, I heard that shit before.
Right.
You know what I'm
A
saying?
1,000 times.
Yeah, motherfucker that punched me in my eye.
He said he loved me too. but
right.
Here I
So-
am with a black eye.
Yeah, so that's some of the stuff, like you said, it's just watered down, and
It's,
that's
yeah.
today. That's today. Today we watered down, and then that watering down process is another reason why we don't really like. You gotta get it on your own, babe. You know,
Right.
we could be in a relationship, and I'm like, yeah, how much money you got? $5. Well, I got 10,000. You gotta get it
Right.
on your own, man.
I don't know what you're gonna do, but I know
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do.
You've been seeing me. You've been seeing me go to the motherfucking barbershop and shit. You ain't picked up no clippers yet.
Right.
What's wrong with you? You know, you got all of this type of stuff going on. Then that's that watering down process, like you
Yeah.
said, because I'm like, get it on your own. You know
Yeah,
what
and
I'm
I
saying?
feel like that's what this guy is saying in his message. He's watering down what a mother truly is, or even just a family. Like, yes, he did emphasize fuck mama, grandmama, daddy, everybody, cousins, y'all got to get it on your own. I'm gonna show you. But in essence, you're watering down what family really means. And for us as Black people to have fought this hard to get everything that we have, the last thing you would want to do is to try and water down the history
Oh,
by
yeah.
you saying, yeah, I don't care what you ain't got, I know what I got. That's selfish, number one. But number two, you're now watering down what family should do and what family should look like.
Mhm.
And not everybody is going to make it
I agree.
in every family. You
Mhm.
might not even have one person that is hugely successful. But what we tend to do, especially our generation, is if I can't get you there, I'm going to point you in a direction that's going to get you there. because I'm trying to get myself there as well. So we're always, especially our generation, we're always reaching back out to pull somebody up. We do that a lot with our youth. I see that a lot in our Milwaukee communities, where you see a lot of Black men going out to these younger kids and saying, hey, that stupid shit, stealing cars and breaking into people's houses. No, let me help you out with a job. I own a barbershop. You could come and sweep my floors for a couple days. I'll give you a couple dollars. But I don't see the 35 and under doing that as often as what our generation and the generations after us or before us have done. And it's because it's watered down. Like,
Can I ask a question? And this is only loosely related to the topic, but I'm more curious about your opinion of something I heard this week. So let's say you successful, you made money, you had a good mother, dad was there most of your life, but your parents got divorced. Let's say you was 13. So you had a good amount of time with them together, but they got divorced when you was 13 because dad cheated on mom and got somebody else pregnant, right? So they divorced. Now you grow up, you become successful. You got more than enough money. So you say, Mom, I'm gonna buy you a house because you always been there for me. I'm gonna hold you down. So they buy mom a house. Then it's like, well, dad was there. He didn't abandon me. But now dad is remarried to the person he cheated on mom with, right? So you buy dad a house because that's fair and you got it. Mom dies. The house is sold. Now it's only dad and his wife in the house that you bought then. Now dad dies and only the wife is left. Do you take the house from that wife? Because you bought the house for dad, not the wife, and that's the same lady that cheated with him on your mom?
I think if you were to do that, it's showing a sign of resentment for the new relationship that your father built. I don't think that it's right to give and then take back. I've never been an Indian giver, and I'm not a promoter.
But you didn't give it to her. You didn't give it to her. You gave it to your dad.
Right. So you gave it to your father, who was married at the time. So you instinctively, you should know that it's not your dad's, it's theirs. Right? Ain't that what you say?
Absolutely.
If it's our house, it's our house. This ain't your house, husband or wife. This is our house.
Absolutely.
So instinctively, that child who's now an adult who purchased this home for his father has to instinctively know that that house is now being shared by the couple.
Yeah, you can't put this lady out that's 67 and be like, you know what, Pop's gone, you gotta get the fuck out.
Right.
You know,
so do you stop paying for it because Pops ain't there no more?
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. But here's the thing. First of all, a little tongue in cheek, but a lot of truth. Stay out of grown folk business.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing.
Woo! Preach
right?
that.
That's real though.
It affected you. It affected you. One minute you thought you had a whole family, and then next minute it's severed.
But as a child, you only are privy to certain pieces of information. There is no way that as an adult, you're going to sit there and tell your child the entire dynamic of your relationship with your now ex-husband. There's no way you're going to be like, yeah, well, he only fucked me on Mondays and Wednesdays, but on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, he was over at Susie's house. You're not finna say that.
Or you're not going to say what you did not do or how disrespectful it came across.
Right. You're never going to hold yourself in a negative light. You're never going to say, well, he cheated on me, and it's because I didn't want to fuck with him. You're not going to say that, because then you're going to make yourself look bad. So all you're going to do is focus on the fact that he cheated, and that's why daddy is no longer here.
So you're going to still pay for Susie to stay in the house you bought for your dad when you sold your mom's house and she died?
No, I don't think you should pay for it, but at the same time, those, as soon as father passes away, you need to have a discussion with Susie and say, listen, I've been paying because this is what my daddy wanted. But if you can't financially support this house, then maybe the best thing for us to do is to sell it.
Yeah. And but you hold on 1 second though. See, like, okay, so we done hit the lottery. Us three hit the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
We made we walked away with 10 million apiece, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can buy each one of our mothers a house that's gonna cost. I'm not gonna go crazy. 500,000, right? Why am I paying notes on that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the reason I
The
say
house
that,
should be paid for.
right? And I understand the example that's being given, but if you're gonna give me something, you don't want to pay for it in your name, right? You can pay for it. You can either pay for it in their name or just pay for it completely.
Right. You're to do something so grateful as to give someone something, you don't want to put them in a financial hardship.
Because
you know what I'm saying?
You never know when your time is up.
Right. If I buy my mama a $500,000 house that I'm paying the note on, and God forbid I'm now disabled and can't work to even support myself, I've now put my mom in a financial hardship by putting her in a house that she couldn't even afford to pay on her own. So those are decisions that some people with wealth think about. Either I'm going to buy her this house, or I'm going to make sure that if I do buy the house and I'm going to pay a note on it, my mama eventually will be able to take over the note if I'm not able to.
And it's much easier to pay the taxes than it is to pay the note.
It is.
So but anyway, I guess that's neither here nor there. But if you gonna do something for somebody, do it and don't look back. Mm-hmm. And so if one of the things, like what I said, is that the children don't know what goes on behind that door. And that door being whatever the parent's life is, the parent's life is totally different than the parent and children's life. And so that child can't be upset with the man or the woman for moving on.
What they did in their relationship.
Right. You remember, okay, so we remember the movie Catch Me If You Can?
Yes.
Remember the mama was the one that was having an affair on the daddy was, he might not have a job, but he was a hustler. Mm-hmm. So she was having an affair on him. The son still was trying to reach into her. You know what I'm saying? So because he caught him. He caught them doing what they was doing. You mm-hmm. see what I'm saying? So, sometimes he basically like, fuck it, I'm staying out of that. That was adult business.
Right.
I still want to know my mama. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes that child that grew up got to stay out of grown folk business and let that be, and then handle their business from there. If you're going to take care of somebody, take care of them. You can't worry about who they dealing with.
You can't worry about who's going to benefit from that. Mm-mm. That's too much of a headache for you to even put yourself through, let alone to have to put that strain on the person that you're gifting something to. Like, now you've come into this opportunity where you're giving someone a house, right? It's your dad, and your dad has moved on, but now you got to add stipulations to the house. Yeah. You think your daddy gonna want the house after that? Listen, Pop, if anything happened to you, you just know your wife can't stay here, so I'm gonna kick the bitch out. So she gonna be on her own.
Yeah.
Or under no circumstances should she redecorate the house because this is your house, and so she can't come in and try to stake claim on it and say, well, she want part of the garage torn down to build a garden or some shit because this your house and you don't even like garden. Like, you're adding too many stipulations to a gift. Ain't nobody gonna willingly take a gift with all those damn stipulations.
Right. And it's kind of like if your father buy you a car as a young lady, right? And so like, say like me, I'm just an example, right? So if I buy my daughter a car, if I had that kind of money, and I'd just be like, I'm gonna buy a car. But you can't let if you have a boyfriend, you can't let him drive.
Right.
Right. And you can't have no more than just you and a person in the passenger seat. And it can't be a boy in the passenger seat. It gotta be a girl. and she can't be one of them girls that I don't really like because she might be a little wild. You be like, hold on, man, whose car is this motherfucker? Right. You bought me the car, or is it your car and you gonna be in the back seat like, hey man, this is what go on. So you can't do that stuff. Like she said, you can't add stipulations to the purchase to try to control that person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It shows a lack of respect as well
It does.
to try to control somebody when they are doing
When you're doing them.
something for them.
Right.
So would it be the same scenario if you bought your daughter a car, right? And she got a boyfriend, but you bought her the car.
Yeah, it's
She
hers.
got a boyfriend. Let's say she worked from home. Her and her boyfriend don't live together, but he got a job somewhere far and no car. And she like, well, you can have my car until, you know, I need it. Or you can have my car until you get one on your own. You ain't gonna be like, I bought that car for you. What you doing giving it to him?
Who car is it?
Keyword.
Who car
You
is it?
said
It's
I'm
her
gonna
car.
give you my car. That's her car.
There you go.
Her
It's
car.
the same thing. Like I used to
Yeah.
get mad at my children when they loaned out things that I bought them.
Yeah.
I used to get mad, but then I realized because my son made me have this epiphany moment. He was like, "Ma, you bought it for me though." And so if I want to share this with my friend, why do you care?
Right. Well, I
And
bought
I
it for you.
Right.
And that's yours now.
Exactly.
So, you
So
can do what you got.
you can't give someone something
Mhm.
and add stipulations to it and expect for them to still appreciate the gift or even want it.
Yeah, because it's not really theirs.
Right.
So one of the things too that see when you buying something for someone, you got to know that it's in good hands. You see what I'm saying?
Because you're giving it to them.
Yeah.
You
So
wouldn't give it to them. It's just like giving them a dog. If you know they don't like dogs and they're probably a mishandler of dogs and will mistreat it, why give them a dog? Like, you know, the dog is going to be worse
Yeah.
off putting it in the hands of someone who don't care about it.
yeah, because when you do stuff for people, you do it. You just do it for them. And that's, are you doing it for yourself or for that person? You know what I'm saying? You're doing it for that person. I don't care if they tell me thank you. You know what I'm saying? It might be appreciated, but I can't be like, damn, they ain't even say thank you when I gave the car. Right? I shouldn't have gave the car. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's on me. My brain says, you know what? I just need a car to get around. I got an extra car that I don't use. Go on, drive it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I would say.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But then I can't be like, you can only drive it before 9 o'clock in the evening. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I hear you, and I hear you, and I hear your stipulations. I just feel like if I bought the car for my father, my father just did get married, and luckily, I love his wife. I think she's great. But if I bought my father a house and I didn't really love her, if and he passed away, I don't know if I'm still footing the bill for that house that I bought for him because he's no longer there to use it.
You would never want to buy them something that you have to residually
Wasn't a buy them, it was a buy him.
Can't
Or
be.
even-
It can't be because it's one.
right. You know that
The
he's a
father is
package
one.
deal now.
Yeah.
He's a package deal.
It's like you having a new boyfriend. You got kids in the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're adults or about to be adults. If you got kids in the house and I come along and now me and you jamming, right? And now we dealing. Am I only dealing with you? And when they come in, I just ignore them. I don't get to do that because it's you and them, right?
Mhm.
I don't get to be like when they come in and be like, "Hey, what up, man?"
And now you bought me the house because we rocking, or we together. We even could be married.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a unit is one.
Mhm.
A unit is one. A unit is not a division.
I die, you still paying for the house for my kids to live in?
Well, if that's what we rocking like that,
Right.
I've been asked a lot of questions about, in particular, about trying to do business, right? One of the better questions I got asked was, like I'm in the industry, the hair industry, right? And the lady asked me one time, she said, so is that our shop? If me and you, boyfriend and girlfriend, is that our shop? I was like, yeah, that's our shop. You know what I'm saying? Because if I need some money and shit, you're gonna pay for it.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? So I mean, this if I need to take care of something at the shop, which brings in money, you might have to work for that. You might have to go get it. You at your job, you get $1,500 check, y'all gonna need $1,300 to pay for this thing here,
Mhm.
right? Because when that starts flowing, then you gonna see that too. I'm not gonna be able to be like, well, you ain't give me that $1,300, so you don't get none of
Right.
this. You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
and going back to the house situation, like, you don't know what improvements she may have made on the house that now have increased the value of the house. So for you to rip that away from her, now you're splitting hairs because she's saying, well, I invested $50,000 into this house with remodeling and upgrades,
Yeah.
and now you just want to take away my hard-earned money because the structure of the house belonged to my husband, and because now he's deceased, you want to just say, well, I don't care what you did to the house. It was his house, so you did it on your own with your own money and your free mind. That's not fair.
See, and I don't look at you.
So
can't-
would it be fair to give her, like, my pops is dead, I'm gonna give you $50,000 so you have money to relocate?
I say what would
No.
be fair is
It's her
leaving her
house.
alone, right?
It's her house.
Right. Leaving her alone.
It's not her house. Name
For the
ain't
house.
nothing.
If you were residually paying for the house, then that's again a conversation that you're going to need to have. Basically saying, Miss Ma'am, my father's gone, and you know that I was footing the bill for this house. Can you afford to continue to pay for this house? Because if you can't, I can't either. And so therefore, we need to talk about splitting this asset.
And it's not that you can't, it's that you won't.
You won't. And
Because
would you split an asset with her that ain't hers?
It is hers.
it's hers.
It ain't
because
hers.
The
They
second
won.
part of her unit is gone. She
That's a
invested
unit.
time and effort into that house
Yeah.
to make it
But
happen.
she ain't, her name ain't on nothing. Her name ain't on nothing. It's not hers. I mean, morally, you might want to say, oh, the two become one is hers because she was with him. But if they'd have got divorced, her ass would have had to leave.
Miss Bradley.
Yeah, I just no.
Yeah, if she
I-
whoa.
don't
What you
put
say?
yourself.
Whoa. What you say about if they got divorced?
If they would have got divorced as opposed to him dying, if they would have got a divorce, she would have had to go.
No. If she would have
Because
got
Not
divorced,
in Wisconsin.
if
It's a
she-
50-50 state.
and anywhere,
I'm here in Georgia. Thank
most-
God, because my house is mine. I was married for 25 years. But when I got divorced, the judge said that's her house.
If he would have pressed and he would have had a good lawyer, that would have been enough to get that. That would have been a part because just like
Y'all
you-
would have had to sell the house and
Yeah.
split the proceeds.
yeah, we taking care of each other. If you taking care of me and being in that house is taking care of me, you
Mhm.
don't just get up out of there. That ain't the way that go. We get to this right here. This me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who was living here. I'm not leaving. And you know, if you do sell it, I'm getting half of that
That's right.
because this is all I knew for the last 20 years.
Well, I'm glad he didn't have a good lawyer then.
Hey, yeah, no doubt. And then that goes to lifestyle. Remember, you grew accustomed to a certain lifestyle. We done seen this in divorces. You grew accustomed to a certain lifestyle. So what is alimony for?
Yeah.
To maintain that lifestyle.
Yep.
You know, at
Right.
least for a amount of time. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We got Katrina Bradley joining us. Katrina, we only gonna hang in here for about another couple of minutes. What do you have to say about the topic of should you always take care of your mama? While we're waiting on Katrina to chime in, let's go to some of these comments.
Mr. Mitchell said, very good discussion. I wish I could have hopped on.
We wish you could have as well.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Higgins, I meant to say don't know.
Okay.
And Mr. Higgins, Ice, there's a whole lot. We read that one already. Oh, there's a whole lot of kids in this generation that don't know what love is in our generation. We went to church and knew God loves us. Yeah, we read that one.
Yeah, we did.
We did. Yeah. You read it on the side. Yeah. That's peace.
Yep, we did.
And then Shamika.
Hey,
Shamika. Glad you could join us. Come on and keep it up. Keep it up.
Higgins, good conversation. Gotta go. Peace. We appreciate you stopping by and engaging in the discussion. Katrina Badley, your last points on this topic, dear. We see you on the camera, not your physical presence, but
You know
a
you
box
in the
that has
wrong.
your name in it. if you're still with us and connected, go ahead and tell us how you feel about this topic.
All right. Until she jump in, I always say like this. Whenever you do something for somebody, do it from the kindness of your
own
brain and heart.
Yes.
You don't do it because of the accolades that you're going to get from doing that
Right.
favor. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you the mama, you the granddaddy, you the boyfriend, husband, whatever you are, son, daughter, whatever it is. Just do it because you wanted to do it for that person, not to be like, okay, well, I did it for you and I can take it back. We can't do that. And that's what a lot of times, like, a lot of guys get into relationships. A lot of women get into relationships. Guys get into relationships with women who have kids. Women get in relationship with guys who have kids, and they want to dog them out. That's where that term comes from. You treat me like a stepchild, or being treated like a stepchild, whichever way it applies at that moment. But don't treat that child like a stepchild. When you go into a situation like that, treat it with love, and it won't turn out like that boy in the video today that said fuck everybody.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You got to treat the whole deal with love.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And with that note, I'm gonna say peace with that.
All right, let me speak my piece about it. So my father always told me, and this is my biological father, not my stepfather who raised me, but one trinket of knowledge that my biological father bestowed upon me is that you never loan or gift anything to anyone with stipulations or with an expectation to get it back. My father never loaned anybody anything. If he would have family members that would come to him and say, can I borrow? Can I borrow? Can I borrow? And he said, no, you ain't borrowing nothing. If I got it, I'm going to give it to you because I don't want it back. I can afford to not have it back. But when I think about that in my life, it's like, wow, just imagine being able to give someone something without the expectation of it coming back to you in return. How much healthier your life will be. You're not stressing and trying to blow somebody's phone up and being mad because they ain't give it back to you the same way you got it, or when you expected to get it back, or maybe you needed it and you didn't get it back on time. All of those stresses you can eliminate by just simply giving it to someone if you don't expect it in return. If you're expecting it in return, you shouldn't be giving it.
If you don't got it to give, don't give.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because borrow creates hate.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you don't get it back, now you're in a bad place. You know what I'm saying? So,
agreed.
Your final thoughts, Dream?
That's how I typically move. I typically move where if I give it, I release all expectations. I don't say don't give it back necessarily, especially if it's something they ask to borrow, but I only give it if I can afford to lose it. That was kind of the jewel my dad gave me, but giving it back, if you saying you want to borrow it, just shows me your character, so I just know where to put you based on how you move, but my intentions are not dictated by how you're going to move.
Right, no doubt.
That's peace.
Miss Bradley said, I agree with don't give with expectations of how you want things to go down. Give freely.
Yep.
And Mr. Mitchell said,
I was recently told that I needed to stop being sick giving.
Yeah, sick. Okay. Yeah, just don't give freely.
Right. Don't give freely, especially if you're just doing it like willy-nilly. You would obviously want to have some intentions behind it. Like, I don't give bums on the street money because I already 9 times out of 10, I know what you're finna do with it. But I'm more hesitant and more likely, though, to give it to a child who's on the street begging. And that's simply because I know that maybe, just maybe, you might have bad intentions with it, but you could be in a situation or a predicament where you really do need it. So just stop being so generous if you can't if you can't afford to be generous, and two, if you aren't doing it with your heart in mind.
And then also, Mr. Mitchell, we some people, man, we got big hearts,
Yeah.
right? Black people in general, we got a lot of compassion for people,
Right.
right? Even when that person tries to hurt us, we got a lot of compassion for them, and we do and do and do and do and do, and then some people will try to use us.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So we can't let anybody use us, and that's what a lot of this conversation breaks down. If you go in between some of them lines, you'll see that right there. And sometimes we don't want, you know what I'm saying? And you're using us for foul intent. So
Mhm.
we don't do that either. So we ain't gonna be just giving and doing whatever. Let me
So
see.
maybe we shouldn't be mad at the young man who not gonna give it, because maybe he already know in his heart he can't give it freely. Not that he don't have it to give, but he can't give it without some expectation of people learning how to get it for themselves. So
I'm
maybe he ain't wrong about saying, I'm not gonna do that.
He's not wrong at all for saying it, and I'm not mad with him. But I agree with Ice what she's saying, because a lot of times when you say stuff, yeah. So I'm not mad. First of all, let's say that, and I do agree with what he's saying for him,
Right.
right? But then you could create chaos when you put information out there, because okay, so your wisdom has to be wise in its discernment. You got to
Yes.
put your wisdom out there properly so somebody else can learn from your experience. It takes a lot to learn from what you haven't done,
Mhm.
right? So that's wise discernment. But if you just put it out there crazily and in an idiotic fashion, now the next person, like I said, so some kids see it happening. Here, their mama took care of them, and this kid is 16, 17, 18. He becomes a rap star, and now he got an $8 million contract. And he like, Mama, you better get on the motherfucking mic. You know what I'm saying? Nobody got on the mic with me. You know what I'm saying? Because he heard somebody like that person using something in an idiotic fashion,
Mhm.
right? That's not wise discernment. So then he's creating chaos among the youth. So real quick, I'm gonna say that before I say these other comments. But I remember Chuck D from Public Enemy, one of my favorite rappers, right? He said he talked about the radio about 10 years ago and 10, 12 years ago. And we see where the radio then went now. But he talked about the radio. He said he don't mind. I forget who the person was, but say it was somebody like Boosie or somebody, whoever it was, that was everything was played with some bullshit, right? And he's like, oh, I don't mind that, and this is not verbatim, but he said, I don't mind that, but play the conscious shit too. So we can have a fair balance. You see what I'm saying? You got to have a fair balance in what you do. And when like Ice was saying about the guy that did the video, when you saying that, where's the counter to that? We don't have anybody that's be like, yeah, well, if your mama took care of you like this, that, woo, 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 and she never did anything to make you feel abandoned or abused, or never fed you and all of this, take care of your mama, take care of your daddy, take care of your grandparents who didn't have to do it, like Mr. Simmons. Take care of them. You know what I'm saying? Because they reached in and showed you love. We got to have a balance too. You know what I'm saying? We was just speaking on that side of the video, but we need the balance involved, and we never get to hear the other side. Especially when it's negative today, especially with the internet. The negative is what get the comments, the likes, and all of this.
It's
It
more
blow up.
glorified, right?
Yes, it blows up, right? But you don't see the positive is not being seen, and that's what Chuck D was saying. These cats that make that nonsense, we got people that like that, but we got people that like this too, and we making it. So put it on the radio, because if you put the nonsense on the radio, guess what you're gonna have? You're gonna have a race of babies that hate the ladies that make the babies, or whatever he said.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
That's what he said.
Yeah, he said that, right? Hey,
Yeah.
Miss Parker said, if I give someone something, I don't care what you do with it. It belongs to you. I'm not giving anything to anyone that can't handle it. Oh, that's peace. And then we got two more comments. That was okay. We already got that one up there.
Next one.
Okay, that's right.
Bobby Simmons. We all have fathers and stepfathers that drop great wisdom and jewels. My father would say that if you give someone something and that they didn't give it back, oh well, that's
A good way to get
a
rid of
good
them.
way to get rid of them.
That's right. And you know, I learned that lesson as well, right? Here, go check it out. Check it out. So if I borrow you $20 and you don't give it back, and now you won't come around me no more for $20.
Mm-hmm.
I bought you for $20.
Right.
I bought you out of my life. I bought
Right. I bought your absence.
I
for
bought
20
your
bucks.
absence and my peace for $20. I got you up out of there.
Mhm.
You know, because most of the time somebody not gonna come and get 5,000. You know what I'm saying? And even if they got that, that's a small price to pay. Get you up out my life.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you say, if you got it, you give it because you want to, right? But then when you do give it, just know that it might not get back. So that's one of the reasons why everybody on the planet don't give out the important stuff.
Right.
You know, you're not taking. You can use my phone in my presence, some people, but you can't take it. You can't take it with you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't take it with you. If you use it, you got to use it right here, because I'm not willing to let this go. This MacBook, I'm not willing to let that go. Certain things, my car, certain car, it might not be able to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
not doing that because that's just the way it is. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But I will be, if I can do it, I'm gonna say go ahead and get it. You need the
Right.
car, take the car. You see what I'm saying? Go and
Same
do that.
thing. Yeah. You know, I sometimes will let someone use the bathroom in my house. I don't necessarily trust you, but you can come in and use the bathroom. I'm gonna watch you walk in. I'm gonna wait for you to walk out and watch you walk right back to that door. You're not finna be scavenging around my house.
Yeah.
So I mean, same concept. If you trust enough to give a gift to someone and allow them to own that, then it's theirs. You
It's
can't take
theirs.
it back. You can't dictate or determine what has to happen to it.
Yeah, set no stipulations. That was a good question, Dream, to wind down last few minutes. That was a great question to wind. That's why we like you being on here, because it's always an experience.
Ah, we love that.
Yeah, dig. It's always an experience, but it's almost 10 o'clock. I gotta go outside and take a picture or two.
All right.
11 in my case, almost 11 in my case, but it's been
That's
real.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
How you doing down there?
I'm okay. I'm hanging out. I'm tired now. It's about to be bedtime, but
Do you still do the work where you fly all over?
not as much. I used to fly weekly. Now I do it much less. So maybe once every 6 weeks or so, I may be flying out to do something.
Okay. You know,
But
we
working on some more contracts. It might pick up soon, but I just really tried to strike a balance, because now that it's just me, I don't want to be gone all the time when I got a 17 and a 19-year-old in here.
took it right back to the first conversation. You don't want to be gone all the time because you don't want them to feel abandoned.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
I'm almost finished, but I'm not finished yet. So
See?
I gotta see it through to the end.
That's
There you
what
go.
we're talking about, not letting the babies feel abandoned. And you not see, that's what I'm talking about. I know it's gonna get back there. Hey, listen, one more thing before we go. I still haven't got any body butter. You got any body butter?
I have not.
Well, I got reamed out this weekend because people were so I will get you some body butter. My issue is it is hard to package and sell it in the summer because its name is Melts Like Butter, and it literally melts like butter.
Well, you got to get some. I want to display it in the shop. I mean, we don't have a big audience we got a big audience, but we don't have that like it's before COVID audience.
Right.
Before COVID, people just walked in and just sat there. Nowadays, people are coming in, appointment, going out. You know what I mean?
Right,
it's
right.
That overabundance, but they coming in though. So if you got it, I want to see some of it and put it up there.
Yeah.
If you can.
You
I
said
got it.
that
I made a promise to get it done before the end of the month. So
it's good
yeah.
for the skin and the hair, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that could be a good way for him to market it in his barbershop because maybe men can do it for their beard taming.
Yep.
Now are all spruced up and constantly combing the beard, making it
You
trim up
dig?
nice and making it smell good. And
Yeah.
maybe,
Yep.
maybe.
Yep.
Y'all don't want to know my fragrance.
I definitely keep you posted because I already promised I would get some done by the end of the month. So I will.
That's peace. Let us know. Because I
Will
want to do that. All right.
do. All right.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm
have a good one.
You too, honey. That's
peace, Dream. Y'all have a good night,
Thank
everybody.
you all for joining.
Yeah, we enjoyed the ones that came on Facebook and YouTube.
Yes.
And
Thank
then the
you.
ones that came on Facebook. Come on YouTube next time. Shamika, we missed you. Queen of Intelligent Wisdom, we missed you. Miss Parker. Chris was on there. Man, Chris,
Yeah,
I
Chris
like Chris.
Bracken.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like when Chris come on. She got a
Rashidi.
great perspective. Rashidi
Yeah.
come
Oh,
on.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the U's of the True Life 2 plus you, the U's, Mr. Mitchell, Mr.
Mr.
Higgins,
Simmons.
Mr. Simmons, everybody else,
Yes.
Jay, all y'all. Come on down the next time and we'll see what's popping. Peace.
Peace.
We'll say that. Let me end this with y'all. Watch it back tomorrow.